All right, my friends, welcome to episode 211 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry. I am a professor, and I am at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. And over there is Anthony, the dev, at SummerSpeak, and he is a game developer. And I want to tell you something that I've been meaning to tell you for the last month. It's something that is really important, and you're going to care a lot about. In my fantasy football league, I am 3-1.
That's impressive.
Thank you very much.
Good job picking random things.
Yeah, I don't watch football. I just auto-drafted. I don't know. I chose one person. The rest of the people I don't even know. And doing pretty good, so I wanted to share that with the world.
There you go. Do you get anything at the end?
Money, and I'm
right.
always one out of the money every single year. If the top two get paid, I'm third, kind of thing.
There you go.
I guess slight bragging rights, but not so much.
Not so much. Doesn't actually get you the money.
No, my wife always makes fun of me because I'm always one out of the money. Speaking of being out of the money, this week we are going to talk about that state of play that happened on the 24th, I believe. Sony's third or fourth state of play. Talk about what we thought, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing. The state of play happened, and overall thoughts?
That's no direct.
That is no direct. That is true. It's the hype for a Nintendo Direct and how they usually deliver on something is impressive, considering I feel like every single state of play so far has kind of been a miss.
They usually have like one big thing.
And they did this time for sure.
And it lands. That big thing lands all the time, but it just most of this other stuff feels like padding in a lot of ways. We're like, okay, that's cool. You know why we're here anyway, just give us what we want then. Like, if you're not going to drop anything big or exciting, I'm sorry, I didn't find any of the announcements all in that incredibly exciting.
Well, and it was interesting how they started with this humanity thing that's coming to PS4 and PSVR, which I felt like was a nothing announcement because we don't really know what it is, and the announcement didn't really tell us what it is. It seemed totally out of place and confusing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how many things did they go through before getting to The Last of Us 2?
There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things.
Okay.
So there was...
I can barely remember any of them.
Well, some of them were pushed into the PSVR kind of sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel. Yeah.
I
mean, the only thing that got me was that I was like, oh, that's amusing. I don't know if I played it, is the Katamari dude's next game. Which I'm like...
Watam, I think it was called?
Yeah, which I'm like, it's just going to be super weird.
It looked really weird.
Which I expect out of the guy who made Katamari Damacy. So...
Yeah, it just didn't feel like a heavy-hitting kind of announcement.
No.
And none of them were. I thought that they announced the PS Plus games for October, which I thought were pretty big games. Unfortunately, one of them is MLB The Show 19, which I just bought 2 copies of, one for my brother and one for me for our birthdays, so we could play online, and then I should have just waited.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What was the other one?
Last of Us Remastered.
Right. Getting everybody ready for that one.
Right. So I thought that was pretty big. There was Civilization 6 is coming to PS4.
Cool. It's on the Switch already.
Already on the Switch, right. So
why isn't it already on the... Okay.
I don't know. The one thing I thought was interesting that I didn't know about was the Arise, a simple story, which is done by Techland, I think. And it looked like a cel-shaded kind of adventure game. Action-adventure game, perhaps.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really nice. But that's the only thing that really captured my attention. Other than the final thing that was announced, which last week I said I just need one thing. I need a release date. So I'm going to stick to that, even though I thought that the state of play was meh. I did get a release date for Last of Us 2. It comes out February 21st, which I think is a little earlier than you thought, right?
The rumors were international, like dates that got leaked was February 28th.
That was it, yep.
So it's very likely that that's the correct date for like Europe.
I see.
It could theoretically be within that following week when they release it worldwide. But it's all hitting right then. Yeah. So the rumors were a week off.
Right.
But whatever. That's still 2 weeks before
Final Fantasy
VII Remake.
Right. Well, at least it is a couple of weeks before instead of a couple of days. Because last week we talked about maybe it being 5 days. It is crazy how it's coming that close to it for sure. But I'm glad to have a release date. I'm fine
Yep.
with it being in February. There's nothing to play around. Usually not really much to play around February, so it's going to be a nice time carved out for it. And I can wait. It's fine. I waited this long. And it gives you time to play.
It does.
The first one. Even, I don't know if you will or not, but
I'll probably I'm just watching the first one.
yeah.
There are definitely parts where I'm like watching the full trailer and then watching stuff on like the making of demo. I don't know if I can play the second one. There are parts of it I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the violence. It's I know that there's going to be areas in there that are going to be super dark and jump scary.
Yep.
With fake zombies, and I'm like, I'm really not down for that anymore in my life.
Right.
And that's always been the hesitation of being like, I don't find enjoyment out of that. Like, it makes me just want to step away from the game more than power through it.
Yeah, and definitely the first one had some jump scares. I don't think it was its main thing, you know, but there were definitely quite a few where it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be more. So they said that this is their longest game they've ever made.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 was like 17 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be even longer.
I expect probably around 25-ish is probably likely.
Yeah. It's
that
crazy
seems about the right time.
The original one was, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, something like that? I'm going to look it up real fast. I beat it a couple of years ago, I think, so.
This is looking like it's going to be a really big game.
Let's see,
but I'm also
15 hours.
But I'm also, will say from the announcement trailer, the reveal and everything, I kind of don't like that they already kind of spoiled something at the beginning there.
Me too. I wish I wouldn't have watched it.
I'm just like, oh, I guess when it's clear that that's just the first level, and they call it the first level in the demo. But I'm still like, okay. I guess you don't consider that a big part of the game, story-wise.
Yeah, and I thought it was. Like, they haven't said anything about it, and then here it is.
Nope.
You know? And I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have known, because...
Ellie on revenge, okay.
Yep.
It also seems very tropey to me.
Yeah, and I'm less worried about... I agree. I'm less worried about that because I think that they'll subvert that somehow. Like, I think they're playing out the trope for the trailers to kind of smash you.
And I guess the trailer doesn't specifically show what happened and going on. And that's where I'm also wondering... Like, that's where I'm like, maybe that isn't what happened. They're alluding to it, so people think that's what happens, but something else.
It feels like a head fake for sure.
Yeah, and it could be, but it still is something I'm like, no, I don't need to know this. It's cool. Like...
There are people who have just gone on blackout. They're like, I'm not watching any of this shit.
And they said that they're going to be putting in their 10-minute let's talk about the demo that we talked to the press. They talk about, as we approach release date, we're going to have more demos and more video. I'm like, I don't want any more. Just stop.
Yep.
Like,
Same thing with Death Stranding.
You don't need to have more. Death Stranding, I'm still at the point I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That's the thing with it. It's big enough where I'm like, okay, Death Stranding, I know that I'm crossing the U.S., I generally know that the main goal of the character. I still don't know what Mads Mikkelsen's character is. I don't really know what the hell the black ghost things are, or what the hell's actually going on there. There's so much you just don't know about that game because it's not straightforward at all.
Right.
It's not really grounded as much as The Last of Us 2, where they're just like, no, Ellie's out for revenge. That's the themes that they're going for is revenge, cycle of violence, and how to stop that cycle of violence. Yeah. I'm like, cool. From what you showed me, I pretty much know a good chunk of the game then. Like, the notes you're going to hit. I don't know if I want to know all that.
Yeah.
But it does cool that it looks like they showed Joel at the end. Is Joel going to be the companion for a lot of the game? Are they going to invert it so that you're now playing Ellie the entire time and Joel is... Yeah, it seems like but I guess people... Yeah, it's a hard one.
It was something that was not clear if he was dead, if playing the guitar there, if he was a ghost or whatever in that first reveal. Yeah. So seeing that to me was kind of a spoiler that I didn't want to know, but again, that still means to me that there's something we don't know. It's a head fake again.
Yeah.
But no, I think they confirmed you're playing with Ellie for most, but not all.
Yeah.
So.
Where it's such an inversion of the first game.
Right. So. Which is nice. And nice, it's. The Left Behind, the DLC for Last of Us, you played as Ellie.
Yep.
And you play as Ellie a little bit in the game anyways,
Yeah.
in winter, when Joel's basically down and out.
Yeah.
But to see her and have her story grow.
As the main protagonist.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And obviously, now I'm blanking on her fucking name. The voice actress for Ellie is on Critical Role.
Ashley Johnson.
Thank you. I just think she's so good in that role that I'm half excited just for that.
Laura Bailey is doing a voice in it? Is she?
Yeah, like supposedly her mom, quote unquote, Ellie's mom. And it seems like it's in flashbacks. But
yeah, because there was a picture of Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey. They posted a picture of them doing mocap together.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Critical Role kids are everywhere.
Pretty much. What else was there for me? I mean, they confirmed that it was Seattle. If you didn't pick it up from the trailer that they showed, the release
Right.
trailer, in the demo where they're talking, they just name drop Seattle in one time in the trailer. They're like, oh, and now there's just people that control Seattle.
And they're calling it Seattle, right? They're not like
no, they're flat out calling it Seattle. They called it Seattle. They called this militia, the WTL, is in control of it, and that's why you're fighting a lot of humans. It's this group that has taken over the remains of Seattle and are very against outsiders. So that's that setup. I figured it out. There's a shot of Ellie in a boat in buildings and stuff, and you can, like, she's clearly underneath the wreckage of the monorail tracks in Seattle, and it's the Westin Hotel, the circular hotel. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where in Seattle this is. And then they show the stupid Ferris wheel in that same shot. And I'm like, no, you can't see that from there. It's not even possible. The geography of Seattle does not make that possible, but sure. So it's going to be fake Seattle. Again, we'll see how they do it compared to, what was it?
Infamous Second Son?
Infamous, yeah.
Yeah. That was like really compact, wasn't it?
It is, and I felt like this is probably going to be pretty compact as well. It's always funny when they do cities that you intimately know in these games and how they decide what's going to be important. I'm like, where's the fallen over Space Needle? Because I'm sure it's fallen over, because every game that is dystopia in Seattle has the Space Needle collapsed across something.
Yeah. It's like what was it? Watch Dogs 2, San Francisco, where it was. Yeah. I'm familiar with San Francisco, and then you play it and you're like, okay, this is not there, that's not there. No. This is way too close. Silicon Valley is way too close to San Francisco here.
Yeah. Kind of they just have the highlights. The someone has a scrapbook of what San Francisco is, and they piece together what the city's like. But yeah.
Overall, I'm wondering what their messaging is for these state of plays. Are they holding pattern until next gen, or are they just trying to like work the kinks out of this format before next gen? Because I feel like a lot of this didn't really need to be in it. Felt like it was padding, like trying to actually make it longer.
Yeah, I think they could have just released. Honestly, if it was not even a state of play, it was just like, hey, there's going to be a announced trailer for The Last of Us 2, plus then just adding the 10-minute post talk on, and just be like, yeah, it's just a big Last of Us 2 thing. Would have probably got just as much buzz in the news, because honestly, nothing else they announced there is even in the news today. Like,
that's true.
It's all gone, and the only thing people talk about is The Last of Us.
Yep. Which kind of, I feel like the companies that put their trailers into that state of play were, I don't know if they knew they were filling it out, but it was nice for them to get a platform that big of a platform to show off their game, but then for it to be completely subsumed by Last of Us 2 must suck.
What else was? Oh yeah, because there was the Modern Warfare campaign stuff.
Oh, it's like exclusive for a year on PS4 or something like that?
It's like one of the multiplayer modes is.
Oh, I see.
Not but I saw that people were not happy about that.
No, they were very, very not happy.
They're like, I feel like people are getting really tired of exclusives.
Yeah.
Especially exclusives like that, where the game is just not the complete game on other platforms.
Yeah, and I guess I kind of feel like the reason that's happening is they have their game, going to announce it or release it on all platforms, and then Sony says, here's an extra X amount of money, put something in there that's exclusive for us, as opposed to them creating something and saying, Sony, this is for you. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seems like if Sony didn't offer the money, would that actually ever have been created?
It probably was created, I bet, always at this mode, but they are locking it down. Like, that's, or maybe it's not. There's usually money involved somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually, it's probably mostly that, being like, hey, Sony is giving, at this point, not even Call of Duty. Activision has a deal with Sony.
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard, and they're like, okay, they're going to give us this amount of money, millions of dollars.
Right.
We need to give for some exclusive content. Now we choose what that exclusive content is going to be.
Right.
I doubt it went directly to the Call of Duty team. In my time seeing how those deals happen through EA and filtered to other studios, it was mostly the big publisher doing the deal, securing the money, and then looking internal about what they could give to the platform.
Yeah.
Which worked. I mean, that's how you get something like the original Titanfall only being on Xbox.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because that was the deal. How did Titanfall get financed? Exclusivity deal from Microsoft.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like it's such a competitive market that you kind of go where the money is, and that's obviously what's happening on the PC side, where a lot of Epic money is.
And at that point, like, because that came out this week, the people that made Remedy made Control.
Yep.
They got, like, roughly, after currency conversion, was like almost $11 million.
From Epic, right?
From Epic.
Right.
Which covered basically covered their budget.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, if someone came to me with money making games and said, here you go, oh, your game, we will guarantee that it is profitable.
It's hard not
all
to
you
take
have to
that
do
money.
is make it exclusive to us and be like, I can take the bet that if I put it on all platforms, I can make back my money, or I can guarantee right now I'll make back my money. You take that guarantee.
Yeah,
all
I feel like
the time.
every single
Because in business, you do not risk that.
Right.
And then here's the thing: if Control is only exclusive for a time period, and then it eventually comes out on Steam or other digital platforms, you get a bump in sales then as well. There is absolutely no reason a dev looking at it from a business standpoint of keeping my business afloat with money would ever turn down that opportunity.
And I feel like that's why the vocal minority, majority, whatever, I think it's minority, but I think that's why they're so loud, because that's the only weapon they have. Like, we're going to make it so onerous for you to take that money because the blowback from the community is going to be so much that we're going to make you try to double think it. And then in the end, they're not going to, because you'd be dumb to say no to that money.
I'm curious. The first one that's going to be huge there is Hades comes to Steam on December. So,
is it already out? Final? I own that game. I didn't know it was on final release yet.
No, it's not on final release. Okay. It's just their exclusivity is time period's up with Epic, and then they're gonna also bring it to Steam early access.
Okay, got it.
As early access, and it's just going to continue to go in December, and I guarantee you they're going to get a crap ton of money now from sales on Steam.
I should load that game up again. That game was fun. That is a really well put together game.
And so I'm like, you could have that vocal minority, but it only matters if they don't buy the game when it comes to the other platform.
And as we know from many past experiences, they are going to buy it if they want it anyways. So
yeah, I think the same thing will happen with Borderlands 3 when it comes out, because I already saw a bunch of people like, well, they'll buy it when it's on Steam. It's like, cool. Yeah. Then they win either way. Like, if you're upset that they're on Epic, you need to just not buy it.
Right.
Ever.
And I just feel like a lot of that anger and vitriol is misplaced, because they're really just upset about capitalism. Like, that's capitalism. People are, using the market to their advantage to make money. Like, if they don't make money, they don't make more games.
Yeah.
The frustration is frustrating to me.
It is a frustration, and I get people who don't want it to go to other platforms. Like, I understand the sentiment. It's just more of understand you don't have a good weapon against this happening at all. Like, you don't have leverage, really.
And that's why they're trying to create leverage by being noisy. But the one thing I do understand about the whole piece, and I was talking to our friend Travis the other day about it, the people who backed a certain game on Kickstarter to get it on Steam, and then they switched to a exclusivity deal with Epic.
Sure.
but then it's still timed, so I feel like you would still get your Steam key eventually, but obviously after the game has been out for a while, which sucks,
I mean, that's just a Kickstarter. Like, they misrepresented themselves to you.
Correct. But then you would just get they're offering you a key for Epic, but they don't want to use Epic, I guess.
There's a lot of people that don't want to use Epic for all sorts of reasons that are valid and completely made up. Yeah. So I know
the privacy thing, or the issue about the email or the security or whatever that was compelling to me. Not compelling enough for me to fucking remember what it was, but there was something about the security of your email or your account that made sense to me. But the rest of it, I don't know. I feel like some of it's just Fortnite hate.
Oh yeah, there's tons of that. My valid things with it is that it is a pretty slow launcher in store. Like, navigating it, has a lot of overhead. I would love it if it was streamlined and just optimized more. That's mostly me. It's just more on the tech side and performance than anything else. But I have the Epic launcher open all the time because I use Unreal Engine all the time to make games. So it's there.
Might as well. And I mean, I know it's their back door, but fucking every time I turn on my computer, it's like free game on Epic.
Yep.
So I click it open and do that.
And again, you ask why people are doing that, because they're also getting pretty guaranteed money being a free game through there.
Right, and these are games that have been out for a while anyway, so they're just making more money that they wouldn't be making anyways. So
you want to keep your studio afloat? Great way to do it.
Right. It's business, man.
It is business.
Sucks.
It's business, and it's a lot of indie devs and the smaller companies like that just want to survive.
Yep.
Like,
you yeah. Understanding the consumer's reaction, of course, but also wanting to put money on the table for your families or your employees' families.
Your employees.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes down to it, you're not doing anything. It's doing all that stuff, and it's not really an unethical thing. Like, to say, okay, we're going to, barring that Kickstarter example where that's kind of more of a bait and switch. The Metro thing was also a very bait and switch kind of thing. Like,
yes,
where they're like, we're taking pre-orders on Steam and now we're not.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't, that is like, no, you don't do that. Like, sorry.
Definitely mishandled in some of those cases.
Yeah.
That paint.
But if it's just normal, like, it's not up for pre-order anywhere, and then Epic, or you make, it doesn't even matter if it's Epic. If it's any company coming to you with a storefront and they can guarantee you profit, you're like, yeah, probably. You guys are just going to sell our game? Cool. Whatever.
Yeah. You got to take the sure thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I assume if you're a game maker, you just want people to play your game eventually. So.
You want people to play your game, but you also want to be able to, just make like any artist, to make more art. Yeah. Right. Some people call that selling out, but really, it's not. It's just wanting to do the thing that you want to do.
Right.
For a living would be great. I feel like sometimes people want to have this belief that you can just be the starving artist, or all these people can be starving artists, and that's just not realistic at all.
Right. And wanting the games and then trying to shop for like the cheapest deal.
Yeah.
Which, obviously people are on a budget or whatever, but at the same time, if the developer only sells games that are super, super slashed, big sales or whatever, they're not really going to make enough to stay afloat.
No.
So I know a lot of gamers like to support the studios they like, the games they like, by buying the games full price, which is great, but some people don't. So
yeah, majority of people don't. So that's just what we live in right now. But it's okay. It'll all work out. But I did have something to bring up, catch you off guard.
Uh-oh. Fantasy football?
No. It's another fantasy. It's like space fantasy and weirdness. So, Destiny 2 is free on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. Free to play.
I'm tempted.
Don't you have that game?
I do. I haven't played it. I got it for $5.
I know. I remember that because I bought the same
But now
copy.
I'm actually, because so much is changing in it.
Well, the new what the fuck's it called? Shadowfall?
You don't even have to have Shadowkeep. You don't even have to have Shadowkeep. It's just the basic structure of the game is changing pretty drastically on the first. There's no more levels.
What?
Leveling. It's only light is the only thing that matters anymore. and everything's getting bumped to like 750 light or some random number that's high.
You mean like all the characters are?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
They're redoing all the armor, all the gear, how it all works. The way that you can pursue doing different activities now. Like, it's an overhaul. It's a big overhaul to the game. And so now I'm like, gotta find out if, I don't know, if you'd be awake to try it out. Because I feel like the game was probably better with a person to play it with.
Oh yeah,
I'm just curious now. I'm like, okay, you got me. I wanna see what. Have you made this a game that I actually would enjoy playing?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we both played Destiny, but then I played Destiny 2, and though the story wasn't great, the gameplay itself was phenomenal. So if there was just the loop was more interesting, I probably would have kept with it, but it wasn't. So
yeah, I realized I played a ton of the first Destiny when I really thought back to it. I was like, oh my god, I was totally there for the loot cave. I spent nights farming the loot cave. All through the stupidness of that game.
Yep.
It was so polished in its mechanics and gameplay, like actual like moment to moment gameplay, but was so rough in every meta system around the game.
Speaking of Destiny 2, my pre-order for Stadia is probably happening next month because they gave away that game plus Shadowkeep. Thank you. So cool.
Yeah.
I will definitely have to play with you because I think I can transfer my character over from PS4. Maybe not.
I'm probably just going to play on PS4.
Yeah, okay. Well, then that's
I'll probably
perfect.
just play it on PS4 then, because I just am not at my computer at night.
Yeah.
But I know you can. It's not cross saves. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but yes, the characters.
I'm not sure if you can take it from PS4 though. Can you?
I don't know exactly what. Again, so this is the thing. So much is changing. It's hard for me to find clear information on exactly what's changing and what I should be prepared for.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Tuesday, I plan on just being like, let's see what's going on. Let's see what this looks like now.
I should probably reinstall it before Tuesday so that I can be ready.
It's huge. It's like 70 gigabytes. So I installed it because I didn't have it installed anymore. I put the disc in. I have.
Oh, we got it for free on PS Plus as well. We didn't even need a fucking disc.
Oh, do we have it on PS Plus now too?
I don't know if you were subscribing it that month, but
probably. But I mean, I also have it on.
Right,
it was like $5 through wherever I bought it.
It was Best Buy.
Yeah, so I had put the disc in, and it's like it has an update. It was like 68 gigabytes. So I just let it run last night. Yeah. But God, games are huge. Holy
They're
shit.
so big. I have like an external hard drive and a 1 terabyte internal, and it's just all too small.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a lot of game. And we'll see. If I like it, then I'll probably pick up Shadowkeep. And that's another thing I can't really completely grasp of. I don't own Forsaken, but if I buy Shadowkeep, what do I miss for not owning Forsaken?
I thought that they were all. Everything except for Shadowkeep was included in the free-to-play thing.
Is that? That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I thought.
I'm very that's the thing. I can't get a lot of straight answers. There's a lot of back and forth and hearsay and conflicting information.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is it rolling more the World of Warcraft way now, which is there's always the base game, and then there's the latest expansion.
Right.
And if you buy the latest expansion, you always get that. And the base game just has everything but the latest expansion. But I can't tell. I don't know. But yeah, I just got to dabble again. See if it has anything to maybe hook me. I wouldn't mind that type of game again. A good multiplayer looter RPG thing would be nice. But so yeah.
It would be nice to have a co-op game to kind of get into and have some fun with.
And be bad at.
Oh, God. Totally.
Because I expect to be very bad.
Yes. Of course. That's any... I mean, at least the PvE, at least I think the game kind of covers up how shitty we are.
Yes.
But PvP, no way. We would die.
Yeah, although they have modes now that are like weird PvE, PvP stuff modes.
Like that's right.
crazy multiplayer stuff that I
Gambit
read
or something
about.
like that.
Yeah, Gambit. I'm like, this is clearly there's been a lot put into the game. Now they're not even part of the Activision thing. So is like Bungie the biggest indie dev out there at this point?
I guess.
Because they're effectively indie.
Right. But what are we measuring big with? Like
a 700-person company.
Okay, so you're talking about the size of the team.
Size and the amount, probably their burn rate and their revenue rate.
Right. So basically everything. They're big in all ways.
They're huge. I'm like, it's pretty insane for somebody that has no ties to one of the big publishers or platforms.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think they'll stay independent finally for good?
I think if they can make this work, I think they would. I would hope they do, because considering it's never really worked out for them greatly in the end.
Right. Like
I think they want to be a company, as long as this leadership is there, if they can make the scale of games that they want to and remain independent, that would be their ideal situation.
Right. Yeah, and I hope going free to play is going to be the winning formula for them.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going free to play until like Thursday.
Oh, really?
Whenever it was like, oh, it's free to play plus the,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Right. When I heard that the Cade 6 storyline where he dies or whatever, I heard was really good, but I just haven't wanted to put money into it, so I'm not sure. Maybe I did buy it on PC actually. Shit.
I have it on PC too.
No, I mean I know I have the base game on PC, but I think I bought those fucking expansions on PC.
Did you?
So I should have probably played that story. Oh no, I know why I didn't, because I had to roll a new character, so I'm still going through the original storyline, and I was like, no, not again.
Okay.
The story not so good.
And that's what it sounds like. Is the story is just, I don't know if it's gone or if you have to choose to experience it if you want to.
Huh.
Because the only thing I said that was like whenever you drop into like, I think it's called the New Light or something like that is the free to play name, is that it drops you back in the Cosmodrome from like Destiny 1 and you play like a kind of a reworking of the original Destiny opening.
What?
I don't know. I was
I've been so far away from this.
What the fuck is they doing? Like, I don't completely understand how the rest of the big story content ties into this now. Like, you just choose to run a campaign at some point. You can just be like, I want to play this story content if I own it.
Right.
I don't know. It's really weird, and that's why I just want to Tuesday drop in and just see what's happening and how it works. Basically rediscover it, and yeah, watching some of the stuff when I was on Thursday when seeing it was free to play, watch some streams and being like, oh yeah, I remember I liked parts of Destiny.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time playing Destiny.
So
when it first came out.
So much. I bought a PS4 for that game, which is weird because I didn't have a track record with Bungie, but I just got caught in the hype and wanted to get a PS4, so that was the entry point for me. And I played so many nights of that game. Especially that was the time when my wife was in LA, so it was just me at home. So
that's true. You're just
lots
like,
of time to play. Crazy.
No kids.
No kids. No
wife
no
is
wife
gone.
at
You're
home.
like, cool. What do I do? Play games, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
well, I'm down to check it out. I'll install it tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, one of the two nights, so that we can play together.
Oh, yeah. Let's try it. So yeah.
Anything you've been playing lately?
What did I play? Just a little bit more Zelda. Not a ton there.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Sayonara Wild Hearts through 3 more times.
Oh my god! Wow, you
I
really
just
like
want to
that.
listen to the music and just have a good time. It's like it is exactly what it says, and I'm like, cool. I'm just gonna. Oh, I just want to listen to the album again. I guess I'll just play the game. Like, why not?
That's nice. That's infectious.
It is infectious. It's just such a bring a smile to your face game.
Yeah.
And especially now playing it through, I think I have played it through 4 times. The end is so good. Just from it's very surreal and airy fairy tale kind of stuff in a lot of ways, and not a lot of talking. But the emotional journey of the whole album is so good. And so there's the last song and the whole thing going through the end is just so emotionally fulfilling. It just feels great, and that's why I just keep playing it.
Does it feel like a game that's going to be on your list for like top games of the year kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's within top 5 for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I actually would say, where am I at? I was already starting to put together my best of the year list, and it was up there. It's not number 1, but it's up there for me. I mean, it gives me such an emotional response. What more can I ask for? So, what game was number 1? Crap, I'm now forgetting, but I know it was
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, there we go. That was pretty
the big one you spent a lot of time with.
What? Pretty sure that one's number 1 so far. We'll see if anything comes in hot the rest of the year to unseat that. But it's the current reigning champion.
Yeah. Well, I spent some time this week playing Zelda as well. I forget what day it was. Maybe it was Friday. I was home with my daughter all day, and she wanted to play Yoshi. So I put on the Yoshi's Crafted World demo. She just loves it. Loves watching Yoshi jump around and ride the train. In that first level, there's a train that you put together, and then you ride across the level. So I get all the pieces together and put it together, and then I give her the Switch, and she holds it while the train rolls, and it rumbles in her hand. She just loves it.
Nice.
But then I opened up Zelda for her to show her, and showed her like the opening screen. She's like, too scary. So then later, when I was by myself, I started playing a little bit just to get a feel for it. And it's really pretty. There's a couple things I don't like. One is I do notice the frame rate drops every time you come out of a place and kind of go through the world. It stutters quite a bit, for me at least. And then just the tilt shift is really nice, but the edges being blurred or whatever, or out of focus until you as you move it. I don't know.
I mean, that's depth of field to get that
tilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of...
It's too much for you?
It's a little distracting. I wish it was all visible, but it's kind of a nice aesthetic, I guess. But I'm so embarrassed to say this. It took me forever to figure out what to do at the beginning of that game, because it tells you to go to the library, and I read all the books, and it's like, oh, you can use your shield to push things. I was like, oh, cool. So I kept pushing an Octorok. I was trying to push Octoroks to figure out how to get... Every path was blocked, and I was trying to figure out where to fucking go, and just running around in circles, going everywhere. Then I finally realized, push the spiky thing.
Yes.
Oh my god, it took me way too long to figure that out.
Push the spiky thing, get your sword.
Yep, and that's what took me forever. Jesus Christ.
Still clearly an older game, from a different age, and so maybe sometimes not the most clear directions on what to do.
A little obtuse, even though I feel like in that moment it was more my fault, because it was fucking screaming at me what to do. And I was like, dum-da-dum, I'm going to push the enemy. I don't think of those spiky things like an enemy. I probably can't touch them. It's like, I don't know why I didn't figure it out earlier.
Yeah.
So I played that, and I played a little bit more Fire Emblem. I'm at a point now, I started like the 5th month or 4th month or something, and I'm confronted with what to do on my free day, and it's, all the choices. And it says most people did Seminar. And I was thinking, I feel like every time I have a chance, I should be just roaming around the monastery. Is there any reason to do anything else other than that? Because battling, you said that we do a bunch of battling later, that maybe spend more time early on doing something else.
I usually did one weekend battling, one open day, and then one day in the monastery. Sometimes 2 free days in the monastery, depending. Like, have you already done a monastery day?
I think this is the new month, so I haven't done anything yet.
I always do it. The first thing I do every new month is monastery. Okay. Like the first free day every month was go to the monastery, talk to everybody about what's happened at the last battle, do quests, find things, make sure all of their morale is, or whatever it is up super high, so I can help teach them. Feed them, stuff their faces with food. Do things to raise your professor level, things like that. I think seminars can sometimes help if it's... because it's another way to get additional stats for people. And for yourself. That's a key.
Yeah, to raise your professor level,
right? Yeah, professor level and specific skills. Because you don't have any other... You as the professor have no ways to raise your skill except for battling or seminars.
Right. So I guess you have to do those. You can't really you can't raise your professor level in the monastery? doing different things? Like
no, your professor level you can.
Oh,
but your
I see
skills,
what you're saying.
like your weapon skills and armor and things, you can't. As a professor, you have no way to do that unless you ask people to train you in it, or do seminars, and then of course combat is the other way of just doing your normal combat stuff.
Yeah.
It's just harder for you to get your stuff up than it is to raise student levels in skills. So, but I don't know. Every time it's the first free day, I just go to the monastery and talk to everybody.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do that first then.
How does that usually work? Usually was that, and then I usually would battle the second week if possible, and then at that point, if there's a third free day, then I'd usually go back to the monastery and feed everybody to get their morale up, so I could teach them on the next free day, the next teaching day. Seminars were rare, resting was rare. Battling, and then later on I think I did mostly would sometimes do multiple battles in a month if I felt like it. But yeah, I don't think there's a straight up wrong way to do it though. But yeah, I mean, I guess I played at the beginning. I didn't even have it connected to the internet, so I didn't see what people were choosing on certain days at all. Like I just never got those percentages. Yeah. So. Because it was an offline game, and I never actually hooked it up online until after I got back from vacation. So
yeah, I guess I wish I would turn it off, because it kind of influences what I do. Like if I see more people did X, I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's like, fuck, just play. I need to play how I want to play, and just stop trying to min-max shit.
I can tell you, it was amazing separating myself from that.
Yeah.
It was very freeing on a lot of levels of just being like, oh yeah, I remember when I just played games and not thinking too much about it, just making my own guesses on what to do.
It's probably more fun.
It was a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool though. So what battle did you just finish then? What month?
It was the one, Leonor or Leoric?
Right.
Whatever his name was.
The dude who was revolting.
Yes, right.
Okay, so you're now going into that. So what's this month then?
I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Was this the one where there's a big church festival at the end of the month that you have to prepare?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's that month. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, I'm going through the monastery trying to figure out what the enemy or whatever is trying to like.
Oh yeah.
Steal. Yeah. Like they think it's like Rhea or whatever, but it might be something else. So I'm trying to figure that out.
You're doing that. Okay. Yeah, just talk to people. You'll figure it out.
So that means actually I did the monastery for the first week. This is the second week then.
This is the second week.
Yeah.
Do you still have people that you'll be doing one-on-one sessions with that have... I guess maybe that's why people do seminar, is if they don't have things to do, but I also would say, hey, do some battles if you want to. There's nothing wrong with doing battles.
Yeah.
It's just mostly making sure that you have students available for you to do the one-on-one teaching on your next teaching day.
Yeah.
But
because of their
your
motivation,
your motivation. Your house usually has enough people in it that you can go two full teaching days without running out of people to do one-on-one sessions with.
Right. Yeah, because in the last month, their motivation was pretty low. So I had to figure out a way to either... Maybe the battle brought it back up, and I don't remember. But I know if I'm MVP, then their motivation goes up. But I think one of my other characters was MVP in that game.
And then so maybe you want to go back to the monastery and go around the monastery. And really, at that point, just go to the cafeteria and then just try to coordinate good meals between characters and you. Because that raises their motivation quite a bit. And so you just bump everyone's motivation back up, or a lot of them back up.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think there's really a wrong choice, though. You could figure.
Yeah, I think I'll turn it on after we finish tonight and just make a fucking choice.
Yeah,
and then commit, basically. Cool. Anything else for this week?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome. Well, that was episode 211 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at SummerSpeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. If you like us, check us out on Patreon. Just search Prof and Dev Play Games. Or rate us on your podcast service of choice. Tell a couple friends about our podcast. We really like having listeners. It's really nice to know that we're not just talking to each other, although that's also pretty nice.
It is pretty cool.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. Later, everyone.